rebuilding. The catastrophic failure, a new start, physically, mentally, our careers, our businesses. Step back, first step, next step. The driver in me just wants to get it done tomorrow. We'll do this, do that, let's move this, where are we at with this? You build some confidence, build some self-esteem, start to feel better about yourself. The Silverback Blueprint Podcast, a show for men over 40. We focus on getting stronger, staying motivated, building discipline, creating a community, and becoming truly happy. Hey guys, and welcome to episode 180 of the Silverback Blueprint Podcast. Some days are weird. What I want to talk about here, guys, is on the days that we are not at our best, where things go off the rails, that go off track. And, you know, some days they can go off track very easy. An example of earlier this week is in my training and my bodybuilding shift. We hit legs pretty hard. And last week, was it last week? Yes, last week we added squats. I haven't squatted in years. First 6 weeks we focused on machines, wake things up, get things ready. I have a hack squat machine that's pretty brutal, so I was kicking the shit out of our legs way, but we were, adapting really well. The weight was coming up. Every 6 weeks or so, I like to change some fundamental exercises to keep the stress fresh, to keep the mind fresh, and to keep pushing the body. So we decided to add squats back. We're going with safety squats. So that means it's a special bar we hold on our shoulders, but we hold in front of our chest instead of putting our hands way behind our shoulders trying to hold a bar as a conventional squat. My shoulders aren't handling that, aren't ready for that. And at the end of the day, that's not what I need for bodybuilding versus powerlifting. So we added that, and I put some videos up. It was like Bambi on ice for me. I hadn't done it in a long time. I started off with some box squats, worked up to 275. I could have gone heavier, but the mechanics were just weird. It was just, I hadn't done this in a long time. After I'd worked up to 275 for a couple sets of 3 to 5 reps, I brought it back down to 135 and wanted to do a couple sets of just freestanding squats where I was going down deep and all the way back up with no box at the bottom. I showed a video of the first set. Again, 1 rep, I step backwards, 1 rep, I step forward, 1 rep, I'm a little to the left, a little right. It's just I hadn't done it in a long time. My knees felt kind of weird. So it's like waking everything up. The second set was a lot smoother, and of course we didn't record that. It looked a lot better, so dialed it in. Needless to say, though, that adding the squats kicked the piss out of me. I was beat up. I was tired from it. I hadn't done it in a long time. It's a big exercise. And then we went on, obviously, to finish the rest of our legs, so we had a great workout on top of that. So the next morning when I went to get up, I was tired, and I decided I was going to sleep in a little bit more. I don't have to be at the gym till later in the day, so I said, you know what? Let's sleep for a couple more hours. Well, I was originally hoping to get up around 9:30. Next thing I know, I turn over and it's 12:15. So I had a great nap, but I had to be in the gym in 45 minutes. So obviously I get up and there's things that I have to do before I get to the gym. Some of it is about food. Some of it is just about things I had to get done for the business, that all of a sudden I'm in scramble mode. So what has been normal daily routine got weird, got off track, got crazy. So nonetheless, I'm scrambling. I got to be there. I get to the gym. I get there like 5 after 1. Hate being late. But of course, I realized I forgot my 2 meals sitting on the center island in the kitchen at home. Food prep's super important. Food prep for dieting is super important. Food prep dieting for my first bodybuilding show, even more important. But because I know how things can get weird, and I know how days can go, and I know where some of my weaknesses and strengths lie, I was prepared because I'm keeping a couple of meals at the gym, just for those reasons. I don't like to think about it. I like to pretend I don't know about it. But when I got to the gym and I realized I forgot it, I also was able to look right at the bottom of the fridge and I saw 2 meals sitting there. So that comes around to the point of all this, is that we have days, no matter how much we prepare, how much we want to be on top of things, the day can get away from us. So we need to have systems in place to compensate for that. Knowing how important my nutrition is, knowing how important this bodybuilding thing is as a goal and what I want to do, I took the steps and had the forethought to make sure I have a couple meals ready to go just in case I have one of those mornings. Because life will throw the curves at you. And knowing that and being aware of that, knowing me and knowing that life can do that, and respecting how important this goal is, I've taken certain measures to ensure myself of success. And that's what we have to look at doing, guys, when we take something new on. We want to go to the next level. We have to plan, and we have to hope for the best and plan for the worst. So if you know that you're about to make changes or you're in the middle of making big changes, help set yourself up for success. Don't leave yourself in a possible position where you're going to make a bad choice because you feel you have no other choice. Have some contingencies in place. You're on a diet and you're going out to a party, eat before you go. When you get there, drink lots of water. You're not going to be as hungry. In fact, you shouldn't be hungry. So you can get through that party. Ask yourself, is this a party I need to go to? I'm not saying shut down all your social circle stuff, but listen, at the same token, if you're trying to stop and avoid a certain activity, stay away from situations that are rife with that activity, especially at first until you get some mastery and you get on top of things. Because some days are going to be weird. Some days are going to test you. It's not an if, it's a when. So be prepared, be ready. Understand that resistance, that word we talked about, that force that's out there is waiting to test you every time it can. And it will. And it's always when you seem you least expect it, and then in a situation where you least want it. So that's why your goals have to be big. That's why your goals have to be committed to. That's why your why has to be powerful, so that you're wanting to take these steps, these precautions. You want to think a couple steps ahead. You want to be honest and true about who you are and what your weaknesses are, and then hedge your bets against them. Because what happens is, a lot of people start, and when this happens, they say shit like, well, life happens. Things happen. That's okay. It's okay. I'll make up for it. And I'm like, it's bullshit. It's petty excuses. It's giving yourself an out. It's giving you the there hug all the time. It's the opposite. You know you're a certain way. You know you have certain weaknesses, so shore up against it. Buck up. Fight it. Earn it. That's the stuff they won't tell you a lot of times when you go to make changes, is the fact that you have to start being honest with yourself and hard on yourself. When I say hard on yourself, I mean hard on yourself by raising your standards and holding yourself there and fighting for those standards. That's the hard on yourself. Not to get down on yourself and call yourself a loser and a piece of crap and this is what always happens, right? That's not what being hard on yourself is. That's feeling sorry for yourself. That's the difference, right? If you're weighing in and every second weigh in, you're just not doing what you're supposed to do, and you pull the life happens, I'm like, it's bullshit, right? You're letting yourself off the hook. And you think by saying that, you're telling the world it's okay, but the world around you doesn't give a fuck. And people trying to help you are going to get pissed because you're wasting their time. You're wasting your time, but you're wasting their time. So shore up, prepare for those weird days because they're coming. Guys, that's all I have to say on that for now. Head on over to iTunes, give us a 5-star rating, positive review. Head on over to hostelegear.com, use the code word Silverback for a Some Days Are Weird hoodie. And as always, guys, work hard, motherfuckers, and I'll talk to you guys later.